know everybody. I'm Noah Tremblay. I'm the Vice Chair of the Athens City Commission on Disabilities. It's Wednesday, February 17th, just after 5. I would call the Commission regular monthly meeting to order. I would like to give our newest member, Lisa Simpson, a very warm welcome.
Yeah.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Next, I'd like to acknowledge the temporary leave of absence of Cheryl Krasinski.
Oh, we just welcomed you, Lisa. There we go.
Diane, please do roll call.
Thanks, Noah. So me, Rose Deacus. You have to let me know if you're there because I can't see everyone on the screen at once. So she's not here, it sounds like. Claire Geisigum?
Here.
And hold on a second. Samora Dower?
There's Sora Moore again recently. Gotta hunt her down.
Carolyn Lewis?
Here.
Sly Mata?
Here.
Davey McNelly?
Here.
And Cheryl Prasinski is on leave. And Lisa Simpson.
You're on mute, Lisa.
Thank you. I'm here.
Yay, welcome.
Welcome. Yes.
Arian Smedley.
She's on mute too.
She's on mute too, so she's a yes. J.W. Smith.
I'm here.
Great.
Here.
J.W. Smith. Noah Tremblay. Here. Thank you. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. So we meet quorum. Oh, I was going to also say, one of the documents that we sent out through Patty was an Excel spreadsheet with everyone's email addresses and phone numbers. I just want to make sure that those are correct. So if anyone has any changes, just let me know. Thanks, Noah. Back to you.
Thank you, Diane. Now I will turn things over to Claire to read our mission statement.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, Noah. This is Claire, and the Athens City Commission on Disabilities is an agency of city government whose commitment is to provide a means for the concerns of people with disabilities to be heard, to advocate for public policy change, to provide expertise to the community on disabilities, and to tell the community about the strengths and limitations of people with disabilities, as well as how the community can help them improve their quality of life, thereby ensuring equality of opportunity and full participation in community life for everyone.
Good job. And if you email that to me, I'll be available to read sometime too. So somebody send me that language, please.
Thanks, Claire.
And I'll do that, JW.
Sorry, JW. I'm sorry.
Now we need to do the approval of January's meetings minutes. Has everyone gotten the chance to read over the minutes? Everyone a minute or second to look over them.
Hey, when were those sent out, Davey? I'm trying to think. Not recently, right? Did I miss them?
I think we got sent out with the rest of the information.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so too.
Does anyone see anything in the minutes that needs to change?
I don't think so.
Athens, Ohio.
Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Darian, I'll second.
Second. Everyone in favor of accepting January minutes, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Minutes accepted.
We'll abstain on this because I don't remember reading them. So, JW.
Carolyn, would you please to give us the treasurer's report?
Yes, thank you, Noah. This is Carolyn. Nothing has changed since the last meeting. We have the $3,000 in our budget from the city, and $1,800 is being designated for the Calling All Artists, and we have $1,200 for the Athena Award and whatever else we might need to do over the course of the year. That's the treasurer's report.
I'll move that. If,
Thank you, Carolyn. Can I get a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
JW, so moved.
I'll second it. This is Diane. Diane seconds it.
Everyone in favor of accepting the treasurer's report, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
The treasurer's report accepted. Now on to new business. Councilwoman Smedley contacted the Executive Committee or the Accessibility Committee, I forget which one, asking about if the commission would want support the school new project that she would like to see happen. Take it away, Arian.
Thank you, Noah. This is Arian. What I had posed to, and honestly, I can't remember either which committee I posed it to, Noah.
It was
What I had, I'm sorry?
It was the executive.
The executive committee, right?
Oh, thank you. Was to gauge the interest of the commission in getting involved in exploring opportunities to enhance the playground equipment at the West State Street Park. And not only enhance it, but ensure that there's accessible playground equipment there. And what I see listed on the agenda, it states that perhaps the commission might explore doing a walk and roll, which I think would be great and very valuable for the Parks and Recs department. I do know the Parks and Recs department has a goal of ensuring accessibility in all of their park systems. And this would be a valuable report for them as they move forward in assessing West State Street Park. I'm just simply interested in prioritizing West State Street Park, given it's on the west side, and that's the ward that I represent.
This is Davey. I think that would be an excellent task to take on for the Accessibility Committee and really taking a look at it. I think the West State Street Park is one of the least accessible parks in terms of recent renovations, so I think it could definitely use some work. And I think we have a good map to work from some of the other parks. I think we'd have some other options as well.
But this is JW. Davey and Aaron, is there a model park we already have that we could look at and try to use as a model in Athens yet?
We have Southside Park, which is on Richland Avenue. that has had some renovations made relatively recently.
Right.
And I could see us doing more than what Southside Park has done. I'd like to see that anyway. It would also obviously require funding and all of that. So that's a bigger conversation. But we do have one fairly accessible playground on the south side. I have yet to visit Highland Avenue since their renovation, so I can't speak to their accessibility.
This is Davey, and as someone who has like younger kids who goes to a lot of parks, yeah, I think Richland has some really good features, but lacks in accessible parking. I think the Highland Park has good parking and you can get to the playground equipment, but the playground equipment itself has some accessibility issues. So yeah, I think working from maybe some other model playgrounds as well.
This is Diane. What I think one of the things this really points out is the importance of getting the whole package together, which is parking, access to equipment, the equipment itself, and thinking about how they all intersect, which I'm not sure if Parks and Rec looks at all of that, or if parts of the city look at parking and parts look at sidewalks and parts look at equipment. I'm not really sure how the city functions that way, but it does highlight the importance of maybe even making sure one of them has everything. At least one of them has everything.
This is JW. Aaron, I know you're leaving city council, but are you thinking about proposing this as a future line item with our support, or you thinking about us finding ways to raise funds?
I'm not sure yet. So this is Arian. So that's a good question, Dr. Smith. It would be both at this point. I'm exploring both.
Yeah.
Given the tight financial situation the city's in, I don't expect there to be a lot of investment beyond their traditional sources of playground equipment. That said, I'd like to plant the seed with Parks and Rec, so maybe they consider postponing any installments until they have enough revenue to do something more substantial. But at the same time, too, I would like to create a coalition of sorts of community groups who would be open to helping to do some fundraising.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
I have spoken with the Civitan group. That's a civic group, and they're very interested in being involved. They have limited funding too, but they have manpower who might be interested in helping when it comes time to fundraise. I will say the project on the South Side Park was spearheaded by a civic group. That was spearheaded by Athens Rotary. So we have a model already in place of community groups fundraising and supporting city projects.
I'm all in favor of it. I mean, if it's a walk and roll, whatever, I think it's a great idea. So what's the next step for us? I love it. Sorry, JW.
This is Arian. I think a walk and roll might be a great next step.
Good.
We can provide that document to Parks and Rec.
Good.
And Parks and Rec will also be hopefully starting a comprehensive planning process for all of their parks this year. And that will involve getting feedback from the community, similar to what the city did for their comprehensive plan. And so that's an opportunity for this group to submit feedback specifically on the need for accessibility in all parks. But if we want to stress West State Street Park, that would be appreciated.
And that kind of event, JW, this is JW, that kind of event would get us good media coverage. So
Absolutely.
I forget who's the chair of accessibility, but I hope they'll take this on. I think it'd be great. And I'd like to be a part of that event if we can find a good time for us.
Great. Yeah, I think we have our accessibility commission or committee meeting. Sorry, this is Davey. I think we have our accessibility committee meetings kind of mapped out for the next 3 sessions, but I think later on in the summer we could do a full walk and roll audit.
Now on to old business. First up, Davey and JW with an update on NOSL.
Wait, what? Oh, sorry, David. On the social. Yeah, sorry.
This is social. Yeah.
Sorry, David. Sorry, yeah.
This is Davey. This is an update on the Southeastern Ohio Center for Independent Living. Currently, the Southeastern Ohio Center for Independent Living, or SOCIL, is accepting referrals. They're able to provide referral and linkage and some other services to folks in Athens County. So that's really exciting. We'll put out in the minutes the numbers to get in touch with. I can also look that up for announcements as well. Our next upcoming social steering committee for Athens County is March 16th at noon. That'll be on Zoom. And we have representation from the state board. We have representation from Jordy Stringer, who's the executive director for social. And then we have about 5 or 6 other people in Athens County who are driving the process. Anything else that you'd like to add, JW, to that?
No, this is JW. I think you covered it good. We didn't have a meeting scheduled this month, did we? Or did we have it earlier?
No, this is Davey. No, we have it every other month.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was
time.
Okay. No, it's as I said last time. I think we're on a good track, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we'll pass it back over to you, Noah.
Now Davey is doing some guidance on what committee goals and outcomes should look like.
Shoot, now it's just right back to me, huh?
Of course.
I just want to acknowledge Noah and also Diane and Carolyn, who will be leading upcoming meetings. I think number one, it kind of helps diversify our leadership and just get other people just ready to do it. But also it just kind of helps people not hear me talk all the time. So all committee goals have been compiled and they were sent over to the January exec team. Those are included in the information that Patricia sent out to everyone. So the main idea is that each of the committees sets objectives or outcomes in order to complete these goals over the course of the year. So that way, I think this is something that can happen a lot in organizations where you just start taking like whatever comes at you and that becomes what you work on for that period of time. But instead, by setting what those goals and outcomes are for the whole year, then you can just work on these action steps of, okay, well, for instance, we want the city of Athens to be more accessible. We want to grind down some curb cuts. We want to make the parks more accessible. And we want to make the streetscaping projects more accessible. So then we map out what the meetings look like, who we need to invite to accomplish those, city engineer, whether it be city code office, and get that down. Whenever things are really narrowed down, when you're taking a lot of like actions, I think that's the time when we bring it to the full commission to get approval. And then, I think it's really good in these meetings whenever you're going through your committee reports to present the outcomes that you've achieved, things that you've done, things you're working on, and things that you're learning as we go along. I think we should continue to look for opportunities to collaborate. So if I see, an accessibility issue that I think could use a news article, I would get in touch with Claire and other people on that committee to get that written. So that way we're able to send a formal request letter to the city. Once we find out exactly what we're looking for, we can address it from the committee or from the full commission, which is, generally how we want more formal things to be done. And then if we get things done early in that year, then we can always add on more goals. So that's kind of the general committee structure as we in the exec team see it. Are there any questions on that right now or comments? If there aren't any, I think, and I think this is all driven by just wanting to respect your time and the skills that you have to really use your skills and talents in a good way to get things done as quickly as we can.
This is JW.
Reports.
I'm sorry. I just have a quick question for Davey, an executive committee. So there's no feedback, back to the committees or in that process once they're submitted to you?
Oh yeah, I think absolutely. As the committee structure, the committee would be working on things and bring them to the full commission. So it wouldn't just be the exec team.
Okay, all right, fine. Okay, good. Yeah, I understand. All right. Sorry, Noah.
This is Diane. JW, did you want feedback from?
No, I just wanted to know the process. What are the expectations from the executive committee? If the committee chairs submit those goals, what happens after that?
First up, executive committee, we talked about what we would like to see from committees this year. As David just talked about, we also discussed coming up with more public events like the accessibility committees, walk and draw. We talked about how COVID-19 is affecting the disabled community, especially those of our that have aids that assist us in our daily lives. We decided to table that discussion until next month. I just talked to someone from the health department today, and someone from there is going to come and talk to us next month. Carolyn, what am I leaving out?
No, I think you covered everything. This is Carolyn.
Next is accessibility. Davey, can you start us out?
Davey? Did we lose Davey?
Sorry, I was on mute there. Let me.
Sorry, I was like,
We all have to improve our lip reading skills.
yes.
So let me I just closed my accessibility. There we go. So we met on February 11th at noon, like we always do. We talked a little bit about the C-Click Fix announcement. It's going to be known as Athens, Ohio City Source. So just like we have City Source now, it's a new app, and you go on any of the app stores, you search for Athens, Ohio City Source, and then you're able to submit concerns to the city of Athens. You can specifically make ADA accessibility requests during that. And what we are looking to do is to find a way to, put together some press releases and do some work around that. So So that was one of the first things we discussed. We also discussed our goals for 2021. We want to recruit 2 to 3 new members to that committee, request regular sidewalk maintenance and point out where those are, do a walk and roll, focusing on city source, fix curb cuts in the city that could be done pretty easily. And then also our 5th thing is to work with the city, especially with the city code enforcement, to send out letters with, readily achievable ADA barrier removal. And there's a document that goes along with that. So we are in the process of putting together a letter that's sent from our committee, but also from the city, asking businesses and public spaces to comply with the ADA. Our next committee meeting is March 11th. And that is what I have down. Is there anything that I missed from our committee? Go ahead, Diane.
This is Diane. One of the things we also talked about was adding accessible technology to the accessibility committee's role.
Good. That's good.
And that's because we're recognizing more and more, especially with so many people working through technology during the pandemic, how important it is to have accessible technology. And other groups actually that I'm involved in are really interested in doing this. And I thought, well, we need people who are experts in it to help guide that. And this group seemed like the right place to start.
Right. This is JW. You're so right, Diane. We should reach out to, what's her name? The lady at the campus. I like her. Worked with her. Oh, whose job it is to look at that accessibility at OU. You know who I'm talking about, Diane?
Probably.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't give it. But we should try to approach her about joining that committee.
There is one person on the committee who works at IT who knows about accessibility, Tiffany Beals, and she's on this.
No, it's not Tiffany, but it's this other.
No,
person.
There's another one.
Yeah, I can't give her name, but you're right. Oh my gosh, she'll kill me too.
Go ahead, Davey.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talked about is to, when we're adding our 2 to 3 new members for the year.
Okay, good.
I think we do have some people that are really pretty good with technology, but we could use like one more person. So I think that person that you're thinking of, JW.
Should be ideal if I can think of her name.
Jill Bateman.
Yes, Jill. Oh, she'd be awesome. Can you approach her, Diane, and see, or should I?
I could ask her.
Please ask her. Tell her I told you to ask her. She's been helpful to me with things, and I really like her attitude.
This is Davey. She may already know if she's watching us online or on the webcast.
Nice, I love it. Hi, Jill. You've been tagged. This is JW. You said walk and roll in relation to the Athens. What does that mean? Related to the new app, I think, Davey?
Sure, this is Davey. So the idea is that we would, in the month of April, have an event. The event would be like a lunch and learn walk and roll where we would invite other people from the community to watch us on Facebook Live. Okay, I see. All right. Partner with the other organizations. And also to have some speakers about accessibility and then show people how to use the app.
Good. Okay, good. I see now.
Thanks for that question.
Now on to communications with Claire.
Thank you, Noah. This is Claire. The Communications Committee met also on February 11th, and we discussed the goals that we set for 2020, and one of those includes a monthly column with the Athens Messenger, and I've been speaking with Sydney Dawes about that, and I do need to get back in touch with her now that we've settled on a name for the monthly column, and we decided on Athens Abilities. And Dr. Lewis will be penning the first feature. I believe she's going to be talking about are you gonna be talking about your recent experience,
Yes.
Dr. Lewis? Okay, yes.
Good.
Yeah, so I'm really, really looking forward to reading that, and I think it'll be a great way for us to start off. And then the messenger will also print our logo with the column, which I think would be really cool because we have a really great logo, and I'd like for us to get it out there more. So we're going to use the Medium account to highlight the commission and our members. And Davey, I don't know where Davey went, but Davey wrote an example. I think it was last year of just like a commission feature of someone who volunteers with us, and it was like almost like a template, but it was really good, and I'd like for us to revisit that. So I will get in touch with them likely offline, and we'll discuss it a little bit further. And then our commission will also be featured in a special edition of the Athens News, which this is thanks to Arian, who extended this opportunity to us. It's going to be a special edition that features the Athens County Board of Developmental Disabilities annual report. So we're going to have a little bit of an introduction of ourselves, and it should be really cool. So I'm really excited for us to be able to do this. We're developing a form for committees to feature their current projects. So whenever you want something publicized, you could let us know through this form. As of right now, just sending an email is just fine for the time being, but we'll make sure in this form to outline all of the information that we need right away, just to speed up the process. We should be ready to present it at the next commission meeting. And then let's see, I discussed the possibility of cross collaborating with other city commissions on other projects or publicity. I don't know how it could look yet, but I had a really good conversation with Lacey Rogers. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she serves on the Community Relations Commission. And I think that, we do such great work, and people recognize us, they know us, but maybe they don't know necessarily what a commission is. And they don't realize that anyone is able to participate. And so I think being able to extend that information in some way, shape, or form could encourage more participation, especially on our committees. So I don't know what that looks like, but I think it could be a really interesting opportunity, especially because the Community Relations Commission is doing so much work on conversations about race throughout the city of Athens. And I would like to see us do the same thing and maybe focus on the intersection of race and disability and how those conversations could look. I know that they're involved with trainings with the Athens City School District, and that's more of a partnership with mediation services. And actually, HAPCAP is going to be implementing those trainings relatively soon. So I might have more of a concrete idea rather than just galaxy braining like I am right now. But I just wanted to put that out there just to let you know the discussions that we're having. And then Arian announced that she received 2 children's books from her pediatrician about race. And we're asking ourselves, could we provide the same resources to families or agencies or doctors' offices about varying ability? Because those books definitely exist. And, we even had we even talked about maybe including the library on that. But I wasn't sure, does anyone know of any resources right away?
Well, there's a lot of them out there. And I this is JW. I just wonder if we should really think about purchasing some. That's a great idea to continue to talk about. But just about every organization has those children's books now.
Right.
Or several.
This is Diane. There's a new person on our board for Passion Works, Jan McGarry, who teaches at the Morrison schools, I think. Anyway, she's interested in developing projects that get children more involved with people with living with disabilities, and might be a really good resource for getting resources, reading resources.
Great. Okay. That's great. Thank you. And I do know that there's a couple people at HapCap that I can probably ask, because we received a big donation of books. Well, actually, it wasn't a donation; it was a grant that we received late last summer. We received like 34,000 books. It was through the Molina Foundation. Yeah, it was a lot. So I can see maybe if there's options for specific subjects, specific age groups. So yeah, I'll explore these options for sure. And we'll have more updates for the next meeting. But the last update that I have is that Arian has agreed to co-chair the communications committee. So I think our plan moving forward, and what I have in my notes, I don't know if I've communicated this yet to Arian, but maybe Arian could lead the meetings so that I can focus on note taking, just to make sure that everything's there. And also, I think that she is much well-versed in leading meetings. I do my best, but sometimes I just, I forget little details about protocol and all of that. So, yeah, but it should be a good setup. And that's all I have for right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Arian. Claire, you do a fine job, and I'd be happy to help. Maybe we can alternate roles. One person leads one time, the other person takes notes, and then the next time we switch. I'm happy to do that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. But yeah, you'll likely be hearing from both of us in the future. So thank you, Arian.
Thank you, Claire. Carolyn, you're up again with education and outreach.
Thank you, Noah. This is Carolyn. The main thing on our plate is the new design of the Athena Award 2. We were disappointed that we didn't get more entries. We received 2. One is promising. It needs a little refining. And I guess we didn't get to talk about this at our meeting. We didn't have a quorum. JW was there and a couple of others, but maybe one other, but we didn't have a quorum, so we didn't talk about all of this.
Right.
I'm kind of thinking if we really need a panel of people from the art community to determine this, or whether we as a committee can just go ahead and say, let's work with this gentleman and see if we can work with him to refine the one that we saw with the owl. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. We might be able to work with him to refine it and just to hone it down and see, because I really like that concept. And so I think we'll take it that way instead of trying to find a panel and getting them to look at 2, and we can do it ourselves. What do you think?
And if there was interest, just to kind of piggyback on what Claire had mentioned about working with other commissions, we have AMAC, which is the Athens Municipal Arts Commission. If we wanted to use them as a sounding board for this, that's an option.
I was in touch with Carol Patterson, so and we sent her some information, so that would be good. We could do that. Thank you. They might have some really good ideas for us. Other than that, since we didn't meet, we didn't go over anything else. I don't know if I mentioned before, Cheryl had agreed to be co-chair. Of course, she's taking a leave of absence, and I'm sure she'll get back to us soon, hopefully. Claire, JW, am I missing anything?
This is JW. No, yeah, I think you're right. We didn't have the meeting, and so I think that's just where we are. Barry came in sort of as we were about wrapping up, but hopefully we can have more report next time, next month.
We wondered what we could have done differently, but we sent out every quarter. was in the
I think we hit
paper.
everything we could.
AW talked about it at the Civic Club. So I think maybe the pandemic, and I don't know if people are just not organized enough together to think about doing something like this. So, we'll do the best we can to get a new award this year.
Right.
That's all that I have right now, Noah. Thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn. Slide, we're up with the advocacy. You can go with our goals.
Thank you, sir. So we did meet this week, and so one of the main priorities that we wanted to really focus on was, and it seems like it's become not a growing goal, but to ensure that we are available to meet at our designated times. And so we were able to come to a consensus that we will be meeting the first Tuesday of the month. We did a little mini survey of the members, and we found that was still one of the best times for us to meet. So our official meeting time would be the first Tuesday at 5 p.m., lasting for about an hour. The other goal, there's two other goals that are very important that we're focusing on right now, and that is, one is seeing what type of guest speakers, what type of community resources we may want to bring into the committee to speak about how potential allyship or potential shared resources and potential shared goals that we may have. Sorry, I went on mute for a little bit. The other broad goal that we really want to focus on is how can the advocacy committee specifically help those community members that are being affected by COVID in terms of their income, in terms of shared resources that they may need. This is coming from the concept of some community members that may identify as having a disability may not be getting stimulus funding as they are entitled to based upon funding that they may not have been to earn this past year. And so even then, expanding that concept to some of the shared resources that are in the community, such as the food boxes that are being given away on some weekends, and some other resources that are being shared, and really ensuring that for those that identify with a disability, if they're not receiving those benefits, how can the advocacy committee really support those, either writing letters or having those phone calls or having those face-to-face meetings if possible. So we were able to create a general plan of action of who we may need to start contacting and our next steps to ensure that this may not happen again. JW, Lisa, am I forgetting anything? I wanted to just gloss over the big nuggets.
No, I think you got it.
I'm sorry, Lisa.
No, I think you touched all the bases. I had wondered about getting the word out about our community and things that folks in the community might want us to focus on as an advocacy group. And I'm wondering now if that is something that the communications committee is already doing. But I guess we still do need to look for issues that we should be addressing to help people. So.
And this is Sly. I'll say this real quickly. This is Sly. I was actually pretty happy. It's an unfortunate happiness to hear that, that question of how can the community really know who we are? Mm-hmm. How can they know of the work that we do? How can they know that we exist? And knowing that that was not just a topic that was shared within our committee, but within other committees, maybe this is a shared goal that we can then collaborate with to really help that. And I think that's always been like the question of advocacy versus communication versus education. How do we use our talents to advocate for others, but also use some of the shared resources and some of the shared skills within the commission overall to get the word out that we as a committee exist. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of offline conversations that we may be able to have about, this shared goal and how we can leverage our training. JW?
Yeah, this is JW. I just volunteered Lisa to think about writing a couple of paragraphs that we never identified where we could send it, but I think there's something special, unique about advocacy and our work as a committee. but I'm not opposed to us working with the communication committee to get that out. I just think that we need to get that out. And since we're talking about that possibility, I was going to say this, Claire, earlier. I think at some point, if Lisa's amenable to it too, you might want to do sort of a spotlight on her as a new member, down the line for one of our columns, that kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, this is Claire. I think that's a great idea. So Lisa, we'll definitely be in touch.
Okay.
This is Diane.
Beyond that, that's all we had as a committee.
This is Diane. I had a question. One of the things that I think I've mentioned before, but I didn't know if it got on the radar or not, had to do with the House bill that the governor signed to extend people's ability to do business online once COVID is over.
Yes, this is Sly. I did remember you got that. You sent me that, but I forgot to add it to the agenda. So it's going to be on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, because in the end, it really makes sense that businesses and governments have already proven they can conduct business online. So by not allowing it, you're really eliminating the chance for people with disabilities to sometimes participate.
Right. And this is JW. One more thing. I am proposing for the committee a guest from Legal Rights, Ohio Legal Rights, to join us possibly for our April meeting. That might be a meeting, depending on how that goes, that might be somebody you want to have Davey in the full commission at some point. She's really good.
Yeah, I think that this is David. That would be great.
Okay, so I don't like to share this, but I get this, but I hardly get any paying clients through my business. Thus, I basically live on Social Security and other public assistance, which is very hard to get by on. But anyway, I didn't make enough money to even have to file 2019 taxes, this being the same case for 2020. Well, for some reason, I didn't get the last stimulus check. So I did research and found out that I won't get my $600 until I file my taxes. Doesn't seem right to me. I think this committee should explore as to why some people with disabilities who don't make enough to file taxes didn't get their last stimulus check.
Yeah.
Our next advocacy committee meeting is on March 2nd at 5, right here on Zoom. Next, it's on to announcements. The only one I have is our next full commission meeting is on March 17th at 5, again, right here on Zoom. Does anybody else have any announcements?
We talked briefly, this is Davey, we talked briefly before the commission meeting, and the Athens County Board of Developmental Disabilities has some events coming up. And I think Arian might be able to share the screen and just kind of share some of those events.
All right. Thanks, Davey, and thanks, Noah. This is Arian. So yes, we do have Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month coming up in March, and we have a set of events that we do traditionally,
Right.
but of course this year it will be different. This year it will be all virtual, and so we have a lineup of events that we'd like to share with all of you, and you're all welcome to participate. Every year we also have a theme, and this year's theme is Healthy You, Healthy Me, Healthy Community. And so this will kind of touch on all of our events as a way of trying to spotlight and shine a light on all the hard work that those in our industry and those that we've served have been able to stay healthy and safe during the pandemic. So our first event is a virtual version of our March on Court Street. What we're asking folks to do is to create a sign that you would have created for the march, something that might promote inclusion or showcase diverse abilities, and hold it up, take a photo of yourself holding it up, or take a photo of a friend holding it up, and send that in to Autumn Brown. And she's going to put all those photos together for a little video that would be then our quote unquote virtual March on Court Street. Those should be submitted by February 22nd at 5 p.m. And I'll send out this flyer so folks have information on where to submit this information to. We will have, the next item I'd like to share about is every year we have this county and the city declare March DD Awareness Month. And so we'll be doing that again this year. We'll be joining both the county commissioners and Mayor Steve Patterson virtually to when they make this official declaration. For the county commissioners, it will be on February 23rd. And for the Athens mayor, it'll be on March 3rd. And we'll have a few friends with us to talk about what I'm sharing with you tonight, and also talk about the importance of DD Awareness Month in general. The next item is the Athens News Special Edition, which was mentioned earlier. We, again, do this every year, and it's a collection of stories from the county board, from community partners, about the work that they do to help people with developmental disabilities in the county. And all of the stories this year will focus on how people have stayed healthy and safe this year, how they adapted their life, the challenges, the successes. And I believe the Disabilities Commission is submitting two pieces. One, a general piece about the commission and the work that you're doing this past year virtually. And then another piece on the upcoming walk and roll. I believe that's the plan. And based on the conversation we just had with the advocacy committee, I wonder if there's room to fit this into one of those pieces or a separate piece to talk about the silver lining of meeting virtually for people with disabilities and just putting into words what we just were talking about, the goal of trying to keep some of these practices ongoing and not end them. Just an idea if that's of interest. I do need things submitted to me by Friday of this week, though, so that does leave you a short turnaround if that's something you want to contribute.
Oh, shucks.
The next item, we'll be hosting virtual lunch and learns every Tuesday at noon for the month of March. These will be led by our advocacy ambassadors. These are individuals who receive services from the County Board of BD. They will be doing presentations or leading a discussion on a different topic related to advocacy, rights, or inclusion. And we have Zoom links. We have one Zoom link, and it'll be the same link for all of those meetings.
Excuse me, Eric, can you send that out to us?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
And is Noah doing the first one here?
Well, this is a separate one. And last but not least, drum roll, please.
There we go.
We have Noah doing a virtual lecture series.
Oh, wow.
On March 10th and March 24th at 6:30 p.m.
Wow. Okay.
There'll be hour-long lectures. One will be focused on inclusion, and the other one will be focused on some of the barriers he's faced in his own life.
Wow.
And we're excited about that and looking forward to it. And we'll be sure to share that link as well.
Please, yeah. Wow. I'd like to share those with others. Those last two for sure.
And this is Davey. Thanks a lot for sharing that area. And I think there's a lot of great events coming up. And I also wanted to share one other event that's coming up tomorrow that involves 2 commission members. Is it okay if I share the Black Summit information? Okay, I'm going to share it.
The fly, of course. Thank you. JW, you want to talk about the summit? You want to talk about the Black Summit tomorrow? No, Davey has put up the
Hey,
flyer.
Davey wants to talk about it. You want to talk about it, Davey? No, it's going to be a good event. It's going to be a good event. This is JW, and just trying to contain my excitement. You know, when you've been thinking about something for months, and then you want to, you know, it's almost like giving birth, you know. So it's going to be exciting tomorrow, 6 to 9. And I'll be doing one of the keynote addresses. We got a person coming in from Columbus. Dr. Lewis and her great organizing skills has just made it just brought my dream to fruition. And I think it's going to be really smooth. And then got Claire involved. We're going to be rolling out an Athens Green Book for all those of you who know about that history. And a personal testimony from Dr. Lewis about her family's involvement in the Green Book. An exciting part will be the meeting rooms at the end of the session where you get to go in meetings and meet people from the community. It's going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
This is Davey. Yeah, I think it's going to be such a great event. I'm looking forward to watching and participating too. And I know we're right at our 6 o'clock closing time. Anything else that we should touch base on?
Davey, since you have that handy, could you send it to the commission if that would be okay?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. And the Zoom link is there if you would like to. It's Zoom link there to.
More the merrier.
Yeah.
That choice of keynote speaker, Arian.
Hey, no, I had one. Oops, go ahead. I had one question on the flyer. Is Carolyn and JW, is it in a file that you can copy and paste?
Oh, good question.
You got to ask Dr. Lewis about
Yeah,
that.
you can copy and paste it. I've done it from the.
You can click the link. I'm so sorry. This is Claire. I actually found out earlier that you could click the link directly from the flyer.
Because I saw it on Facebook and it wasn't linkable, so I wanted to just make sure this was. Okay, thanks.
We live in a linkable world.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, JW.
A second.
Done.
Everyone in favor, please raise your hand.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.